everybody. This is the Scoop News Show. This is Frankie Abbruzzino, and we are looking at this jetty. Looks like a beautiful day, even though there's still some fog out there. As you can see, it's during the day. I had to do my radio show, so once a week. This is a recorded show, which I put out there for your viewing pleasure at 6 o'clock, so this is one of them. But yeah, look at that. Nice day out at the South Jetty. A lot of news out there taking place today, and let's get you to the right screen. First, this is a one-man show. I do everything from the editing to the publishing on the websites, the social media, researching, and the show. If you're interested in advertising, go to the website, thescoopradioshow.com or thescoopnews.com, and the advertising pricing is on there. It is generally live and unedited and unscripted. Today it's recorded, unedited, and unscripted. There you go. There you have it. So let's go ahead and get started with the news. There's a lot of it out there. Actually, let's put us on a split screen here. And the first one is this Obamacare. The IRS is going after nonprofit hospitals, and I put that out there. I don't know if any of the local nonprofits like Sarasota Memorial are doing this. I thought I read something in that regard a couple weeks ago. But being in the medical business, you see this a lot, especially with Venice. Venice is a private one, but they're very aggressive. They'll go with after you. I remember I went in, I got a bill, and within a week of getting the bill, they were wondering why I wasn't paying, and it was a collection company. I'm like, are you kidding me? So this is good news because I know a lot of nonprofits are starting to be more aggressive with the billing issues that are out there. So an interesting story to read up on and see what the IRS is going to do to try to clamp down on that issue. This next one we're going to listen to, it is WWSB. Part of when you're doing media is they have this clause of fair use. If you noticed on my copyrights, I can't use any of their pictures, so I tend to use other pictures, and I know this other small media operation was chastising me for it, but that's the bottom line. If I copy somebody else's pictures, and it's a violation of copyright, so I go out and I create my own stuff to stay within the guidelines of what our copyright attorney told us. Now, we can show you a video since this played yesterday and it is going through their website and it's got all their logos and everything. And this just touches on the whole tortoise for ransom issue that was going out there. This is Josh Taylor. He sent this to me last night, but I got it this morning. So let's go ahead and take a quick listen to it. Let's expand it.
A missing African tortoise in Venice, the reptile's owner claiming someone found her pet and was holding it for ransom. At one point, she says, threatening to kill it. Well, Thing, he is now back home. That's his name, Thing. One of his neighbors is facing a serious charge. ABC 7's Josh Taylor has that story.
You want me to get to half?
No. Thing is back to munching on veggies in his South Venice yard.
Oh, I'm very happy. He's just like he never left. He's walking around, eating. And he seems happy.
His recent travels, though, were enough to make his owner, Marlene Ritzman, a nervous wreck. Back in mid-December, the large, slow-moving African tortoise got out.
I was worried. You get worried when you don't know who's going to, get a hold of them, because a lot of people do not take care of them the way they're supposed to.
Someone found him and called the number on his shell. However, they wanted money to return him. When Marlene got into it through a series of phone calls, she says the people on the other end threatened to sell it or kill it.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I don't understand how people are like that. It just makes no sense to me.
When we called the number, a man said he dropped the reptile off at the nearby Shamrock Park. Marlene was suspicious.
Nobody spotted him. I went down 3 times and we walked around and we couldn't find him. And so I knew he wasn't there, but I figured, there might have been a chance.
After our story aired, the owner of Father Fish Aquarium in Venice contacted the Venice Police Department. Someone named James Joseph Zing had recently sold them a tortoise for $100, claiming it was his grandfather's who could no longer care for it. VPD says Zing even scraped the number off the animal's back. A UV light picked up the traces. He's now facing felony charges of dealing in stolen property.
I think it's great. I mean, he deserves it. He doesn't care about the animal. He just cares about making a couple bucks.
VPD declining to arrest Zing, who lives about a mile from Marlene. Instead, he will get a court order. She says the important thing is not Zing, but that Thing is home safe.
He's fine, thank God.
All right, so there's the story from Josh Taylor that the tortoise is home and is safe. Now, Save the Seabirds, this organization seems to be having some issues. I did see the video this morning. I didn't plan on playing it, where the ex-employee, the group is saying that he's a disgruntled ex-employee that's been well documented. He's just saying that there's several violations that have been brought up in the past, and they did a on-the-spot inspection where they just showed up and did not find anything conclusive. So they did admit that some leakage of some of the chemicals and from cleaning the area that they swim in may be going into the drainage, which is going into the waterway, and they're trying to correct that. And the next story is on the homeless camp. This is a homeless camp out at WWSP, put it on about east of 75, where you're starting to see more homeless individuals out there. Generally, they're in the city area where they can get money, ask people for money. There's more people there, all that good stuff. This is something new they're starting to see. Some of the business owners are concerned. They did have some guy that came on camera. He would not be videotaped, but he said he doesn't mind as long as they're not doing anything illegal or causing any trouble. There has been tarps missing and some graffiti issues out there. This is on Craytown. First I heard of it, but I guess it's out there according to some people that were posting on the threads. It's getting a lot of visits. It's legal. It is legal. Now, Wendy Rose, the spokesperson for the sheriff's office, did come out and say that in Sarasota County, this is considered a spice and it is illegal. But it's a herb that's legal in other areas. So I guess that's one of those complexities with the law there that confuses everybody. All right, this next story, we're going to go into full screen for it. I didn't realize we were on that part screen. And this is going to be the story on the bat situation. Isabel Masaranias with WTSP sent this to me yesterday. Not sure if anybody saw it, so let's go ahead and do a single screen and play that video for you. So take 1 second.
Attraction at a beachside park in Venice. There's not just one, but hundreds of them. Bats. That's right, bats. It's a Maxine Barrett Park located off of Harbor Drive South near the beach and the Venice Municipal Airport. Now, 10 News Sarasota newsroom reporter Isabel Mascareñas has more on why these tiny creatures are becoming permanent park residents.
Here at Maxine Barrett Park in Venice, the rules are clear. There's no soliciting, no camping, no animals. Funny, doesn't say anything about bats. And park officials say there are about 1,000 bats living here.
They come in over the top and into that gazebo area right there.
And through a small opening, the bats make their way into the columns. That's the case at not one, but all 3 park pavilions.
Pavilions are providing excellent bat houses because they're appear to be able to move from one column to the next depending upon the wind and the temperatures.
Biologist Jairus Foote says if the temperature is right, above 60 degrees, the bats surface at sunset, swoop out into the night and fly back before sunrise. She says a bat's nighttime activities benefit park visitors.
They do eat a lot of insects. One bat can consume up to 2,000 to 3,000 insects a night.
The park's freshwater lake along the beach, low light at night, and food source, says Foote, make for the perfect home for these 1 to 2 inch long flying mammals.
The bats are staying.
Bats are a protected species.
A lot of wildlife, they are losing their habitat.
The bats will soon have their own place to live at the park. Several bat houses like these will be installed. Biologists say once the bats relocate in about 2 months, their access to the pavilions will be blocked with netting, and the bats will continue to be a park attraction.
And they actually provide a phenomenal educational opportunity.
In Venice, Isabel Mascareñas, 10 News.
All right, it looked like some bandwidth issues were taking place there, and it's still playing. Hold on, let me shut that down. Too many screens when you're a one-man operation going on here. There we go. All right, that's a good story. It's a good thing that they're putting up these 4 different houses, and, I originally wrote what I had heard on WWSP. It wasn't a lot of information. This report by Isabel cleared up a lot of the concerns people may have. They're not going to get rid of them. They're not going to kill them, like somebody mentioned, the pigeon issue out at the pier. Just going to try to relocate them to these 4 houses that will remain in that park area and become a tourist attraction. I don't know how many tourists will go there to check it out, but who knows? When you got 1,000 bats and more as they multiply, it may become a tourist attraction. All right, we'll be right back after this brief message. All right, let's get to the rest of the news. Let's turn down this volume control that I'm hearing. Okay, and we should be good now. The rest of the news that's out there. This one, let's put you on a split screen. All right, this one is on resident vendors wanted for the indoor community yard sale. This is in Laurel Park. Now, I just put it on the Venice Scoop page. Maybe I should have put it on the Sarasota Scoop and Northport Scoop because some of these vendors will travel to it. So if you're listening to this, go to the Venice Scoop page. It's about a actually, no, I'm sorry. This is the internal one, and this is a indoor garage sale. I get them mixed up because Northport just sent me one too that I think I have to post where they're doing a yard sale. So all that information is on the Venice Scoop page. Bob is concerned and wants to make sure after a year that they address the noise ordinance issue. I think I mentioned it during yesterday's broadcast. Basically, Bandana is supposed to play out at the Classics. Classics owner was concerned that after 10, they're going to come down and crack down on him for noise. So he tried contacting the city council and then I guess the police. And, that is an issue when you got to worry about your restaurant making too much noise after 10 o'clock. What's the acceptable amount of noise? What can you do to fix it? And this is all an issue that's been brought up by, I think, one person lately. The other person, there were a couple other people over the past year. One was down in Golden Beach, and I don't know how she could hear back then pineapples, but she stated she did. And I think Ed had it right here when he wrote him back and said, hey, look, we went down, we talked to him about possible modifications, which I think is the best solution. Do possible modifications. See if that fixes it. Because like Ed says here to Bob, this is going to be a significant cultural impact on the downtown area if you go in there and start limiting this noise. So that's something to look forward to at their next meeting. This is a story that we broke. I put on here that I was surprised that the Flasher didn't beat this out. Maybe the Flasher will, because I think this is in the top 10. It was number 6, I think. And it was about that 73-year-old vet that was fired from Cracker Barrel. It did go international. And so did the Flasher. Both of them were good stories. Both of them, I think, were within a month of each other. So we'll see what happens if the Flasher does make WWSP's top 10. I didn't check Tribune to see if any of our stories made their top 100. To be honest with you, there's just so many of them. I'm sure, like that Flasher and this guy, the 73-year-old vet, those were 2 huge stories, I remember. So I'm sure one of them will be in there. Gulf Coast Community Foundation, shouldn't say of Venice, they got rid of that. They gave a $3.4 million grant, according to Sarasota Magazine, and they gave it out to leverage grant for $50,000 to Jewish Family and Services and some other organizations that are out there. So Gulf Coast doing some good things within our community as always. And then we have the community. You're invited to this public rodeo. This is over in Northport. I did put it on the Northport Scoop. And basically saddle up and watch Northport's equipment operators compete in a rodeo. I think they did this last year. And it's going to be on January 24th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Public Works Department on Chamberlain Boulevard. So check that out. Some interesting stuff going down in Northport. We're going to take another quick break so I can pull up my next segment. I should have pulled up more. I'll be right back after this brief message. right, and we are back in the saddle again. Next story. Whoops, got you on a single screen. Let's go to a split screen. Here we go. All right, the next one is residents are needed to serve the Sarasota County Bicycle Pedestrian Trail Advisory Committee. That's down there in Northport. It is on the Northport Scoops page. They list all the requirements and where they're meeting and all the specifics. So by all means, check that out if you're interested in being part of that that committee. All right, the next, don't celebrate New Year's with fireworks. Did you know bottle rockets can reach 150 miles an hour and among the most common causes of firework injuries? And they just go into the importance of not using fireworks during or New Year's. I know a lot of people are. I know that Sharky's is going to have a huge fireworks celebration at 12 o'clock. That's really going to drive the residents out to go beach crazy. And then I talked to my buddies over in Made in Italy. They plan on having the fake snow and doing fireworks right there on Main Street. So I'm sure with all the noise, the fireworks, classics going off, there's going to be some upset neighbors there, and we'll probably see some more noise ordinance emails going out to the city because people had the audacity to celebrate New Year's. This is on the whistleblower, and Rich Torito with the Northport Public Works Department. He blew the whistle on those who say he's responsible for the FEMA cheating scandal. There's a lot more to this, even though they say it's over, and nobody's told them anything. It's basically they've been sitting on it and not taking any action. I know an individual there. I was supposed to talk to him. I never did get around to talking to him, and he has a lot of more information that he's ready to blow the whistle on. So we'll see if we ever get around to that.
I didn't walk, actually. I was on a wheelchair.
This next story, I hear something going off in the back of my ear. Let's see what that is. Here we go. All right. Next one is safety tips. This came out from the county sheriff. This is obvious. I think I put it out yesterday, and basically, biggest things people do is they'll leave a door unlocked with the purse just sitting right there. They'll go into the gas station, or they'll sit here pumping, and a person will come around, sneak in, grab the purse. Just be more visual out there, visible. Make sure that you don't do stuff like that. Look at your surroundings and seeing what's going on. Man arrested. Look at this guy, Maurice Williams. This guy was arrested in Sarasota for human trafficking of a minor, and this happened on Thursday, and it was in conjunction with the Sarasota Police Department Narcotics Division, and he was out of Hillsborough, this Maurice Williams individual, and he was advertising a 16-year-old female on his website back page for prostitution within the city limits of Sarasota. Both him and the juvenile were up in Tampa. She had disappeared, I think they said 7 months ago. And again, a travesty. This stuff should never be happening. Kudos to the Sarasota PD for getting in there and ensuring that this young lady is not abused any longer. Okay, this next one is they're asking for help. I'm not sure why I have that women's word graduation on there, but this is... I don't know why that video's on there. This is basically a man that stole from Goodwill, and they're asking for help identifying the individual. You know what it is? I took the video from their website, and I didn't look at it. I thought it was that same video of the Goodwill shopper, so I'm going to have to get that. There's an actual video of a person going in and stealing some stuff from the Goodwill, and they're looking for some help on finding this individual. They suggest you go to Crime Stoppers or call them at 861-4929. I'll try to update that site with the correct video as soon as I can. The Vice President of Operations in Sarasota Security Patrol was arrested for domestic battery. This came out of Bradenton, and he's a senior official, and he was formerly employed by the Manatee County School District, and he was arrested over the weekend for domestic battery. Ronald Targoski, and he may not have a security job anymore after that. Sarasota deputies are looking for a home invasion suspect, and this person came in and robbed the place Tuesday morning, which is this morning at 7:30. He was dressed in all black with a mask and gloves around the 1800 block of Banyan Street. That story is up on the Sarasota Scoop page. I'm not sure if I shared it with the Taking a Bite Out of Crime page. I just don't recall. And last but not least, just some weather. Normally I'll just slap a 7-day up there, but what we'll do is, let me get you guys to the right screen. This is WWSB's, and we'll just take a look at the radar and see where the rain is coming from. It looks like we're having some bandwidth issues. It has been mostly sea fog all day, as you guys saw from the opening shot of the North Jetty. I'm looking out now, and it still looks miserable outside from that fog that doesn't seem to appear to have lifted at all. 77 today, 30% chance of rain. 75 tomorrow, 10% chance of rain. There is a slight front coming through, a cool front, not cold front. As you can see, we're going to be back up in the 80s for the weekend, so it's going to be a phenomenal weekend with minimal cloud coverage. And I don't know if we're going to get that radar up right now. It doesn't look like it. All right, so let's switch back here, and boom. All right, like I've said many times, this report could run 10 minutes, it could run 5 minutes, it could run an hour. It all depends on what type of news is out there. I did have some stories on Northport. I ended up taking them down. One was on an individual that had a before and after shot of her ring. Clearly, the stones are different. You know, the problem with that is she left the business, went home and she compared the pictures, and then she went back. Well, the jeweler is saying, we didn't change them. You must have done something when you left here. She's saying, I didn't do anything. You guys put the different stones in. Obviously, something that's going to go to an attorney. I don't know if there will ever be a resolution, unfortunately. There was one about the child labor. I took it down because, you know, I whited out the kid's face, and I didn't for some reason catch that I had another person, that unsuspecting person. He was just sitting there doing nothing, minding his own business. And someone wrote me that knows him and said, yeah, he wouldn't want his picture up there. So as a courtesy, I took it down. You know, and you know, where do you stand on that? My kids do work around my office, so, and you know, they've been doing it since they were 12. They'll shred or do other stuff for me, and I think it's a good thing. It gets them out there, gets them learning to do stuff. Now, should they be running it all and working 40 hours? No, I don't believe in that stuff, and I hope that's not what's happening with this young lady. But that is it. I have to run off and tape my radio show for this Saturday. If you like libertarian points of view on international and national news, check out my national news show, theuncensoredreport.com. It runs every Monday through Friday at 11, ends about 12, somewhere in that time frame. Or check out my radio show. It is every Saturday at 6 on 8:20 a.m. or on theuncensoredreport.com. All right, everybody, have a good day.